Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1 and welcome to Boots on the Ground. No business of the day, but I do have a fundraiser. This comes from a subscriber or viewer. My daughter is a senior in high school and the president of a club that works with a nonprofit group called One Voice Foundation that works with pediatric cancer. She came up with an idea to raise this money this month because September is Pediatric Cancer Month. So I will give you the link. It's www.goatgifting.com. There's more information there and you can see what she's trying to accomplish. So go over there if you feel like contributing to a good cause, pediatric cancer. I commend her for wanting to do that. A lot of high school students are not even thinking about helping others. They're all thinking about themselves and what to do, what to wear, what's going on social media. So I commend her for her efforts. Let's get right into the reports. I live in a small town in southern Colorado. Our entire county was shut down due to a ransomware attack. Here's a small section of the news write-up. Basically, they have no email, no internet service within the county government. So there's no laptops, GIS website's not working, and goes on. Health Department, Sheriff's Office, Department of Human Services, all this is not working. Everyone is working for the county, is working around the clock to restore services. Had they paid the ransom, only 70% of the data would have been restored. A quick search of the internet revealed this is a growing problem, as in over 2,048 this year so far. So, warning to preppers, make sure you have all important info hard copied and filed, because if the county loses everything, tax records, all that kind of stuff, it's good to have everything so you can document. This is from Yuma, Arizona. This is a Walmart. I've attached 3 photos of our local Walmart using storage containers to fill shelves. If you look at the far end, you will see empty shelves. As I walked through the store, getting what I needed, there were so many empty holes in the store. I laughed. They have just aisles, and on each side, there's totes. Now, the totes aren't stacked on top of each other. No, a lot of them are individual totes just to occupy space. This person says, I work for the Union Pacific. We get regular updates on the union negotiation with the railroads. So far, 8 of the 12 unions have reached tentative agreements with the railroads. I have little doubt the remaining unions will come to an agreement. This is from Buffalo, good old Buffalo. This is in the northern Buffalo area. This is a Walmart near North Tonawanda. Basically, adult bikes are back in stock. That's good. And then they just went through a lot of things that are missing. There's a lot of things missing up there. Peanut butter, meat, dairy products, and spice sections are well picked over. Pastas are hit and miss. You all know the story. If you're not seeing this, you're just lucky. Thank God that you're not seeing it. Some areas are seeing it worse than others. This is her natural gas bill for August of 2021. It was about 0.428 for each CCF. 1 year later, it is 1.03. That's a huge jump. Her electric bill, September of 2020, was a little over 12 cents per kilowatt. September 2021 is a little over 15 cents a kilowatt. August 2022, 18 cents a kilowatt. So basically 2 years ago it was a little over 12, then it went to 15, and then it went to 18 cents a kilowatt. So that's a huge jump. Rail activity already decreased near the port of Baton Rouge. Here on the west bank of the Mississippi, there has been a drastic decrease in rail traffic from the south of I-10 along LA number 1. There's a rail line that services the huge petrochemical industry, which would include Dow Chemical. Normally, at least 1 or 2 very long trains pass almost hourly. From my work location, I can watch the tracks all day. As of 13:35, and that would be on 9/13, I have not seen a single train since daylight time. My wife came home from work and asked if I saw any trains today because she had not. This is highly irregular. These trains serve the port of Baton Rouge and many other areas. Trains in this area are often there, and they're also transferring the cars to other lines. So the trickle down from train stoppage is an ominous sign. So pray that they can work out their differences and no disruption of rail. This person, I found this interesting. This has been a summer of animal aggression. A gentleman I had the pleasure of speaking with brought animal aggression to my attention. The simple phrase, "Have you noticed the animals are more aggressive this year?" My answer was yes. I was bitten by a vole. No skin broken, thank goodness. Throughout the summer, animal aggression was a theme. Both the gentleman and myself were trading ideas on how to best manage them. Honestly, nothing works. I was able to manage the deer, and that was it. The voles were bold, the chipmunks were brazen, squirrels decimated the fruit trees, and bees took up residence in unique locations, resulting in stings. Certainly, the drought added to the critter problems midsummer, but the aggressive problem started at the beginning of spring. All of this results in a significant loss of produce this year. I also had the pleasure of speaking with a fellow gardener who stated the rabbits in her yard were out of control. And is anyone else noticing that animals are more aggressive? I personally have not, which is good because I deal with a lot of bears coming on my property, and they are not aggressive at all, but they sometimes do not like to get shooed off your property. They've come used to humans. Seems every day now our household upkeep is going up. We're up for renewal on our car insurance. Full coverage was $64. I believe that was probably for a month. Today we received notice it will now be $78 per month. My husband wanted to drop comprehension because he just made the last payment on our 2006 vehicle. However, if he did, the mechanical breakdown is a package deal, so we will keep comprehensive to have the mechanical breakdown and the collision we were keeping. So these people are both on Social Security, so even small increases really will eat into their budget. I noticed a $14.99 charge on my Amazon transaction and found it to be for the renewal monthly charge. It had been $12.99. So that was definitely a $2 increase, which comes out to be $24 a year. So far, we've also had 2 electrical rate hikes, July and now September. We were notified that the State Corporation Commission has approved Dominion's power to raise our rates this November. Sweats and sweaters will be our go-to when it's time for heat. This is from Louisville. I want to update you on our grocery staples in my area. I usually get my eggs from a local farmer, but temporarily I had to buy them at the supermarket. I just finished a trip to my local Walmart where I discovered that a large amount of eggs were beyond their sell-by date. I've always checked dates on produce, so today was no different except for this fact. Today is September 12th, and most of the eggs available reached their sell-by on September 2nd. That's 10 days. Luckily, there was a few that were still in date. Also, I almost find what I need, but the prices continue to climb in my area like so many. This person said the rail companies are parking all their rail cars that move chemicals, fuel, liquid natural gas, propane, etc. for safety concerns in case the strike goes forward. I'm guessing everything price-wise related to petroleum will skyrocket, including plastic, making me nervous if we will be moving freight in a few weeks. Another fuel shortage, question mark. I drive a truck for a living. We've been hit or miss and I'm trying to stay busy. We had a few trucks down because of a CPC in them went bad, and they're on a national back order. No idea when they'll get them back in. I work for a small company that has about 20 trucks. This person lives in Greenville, Maine, and this past weekend we held our yearly seaplane flying and craft show. Fair. This weekend we were absolutely overrun with tourists. I have not seen this town this busy in a few years. The whole deal is basically at Saturday affair with some spillover into Sunday, and both days were packed. I live near the seaplane base, and I gauge attendance on how far past my property they park and walk. The parked cars were a mile past my driveway. I have a friend who rents cabins up there, and he said people are mostly booking for one night. I think the fare and the feedback I heard people are doing just day trips or just overnight. I had some gamma lids that were too small. My friend suggests that I heat them up in very hot water. We heated the rings for about 5 minutes or so, then used a mallet to pound them on the bucket. It worked fine. For larger lids, you can flip the bucket over and try heating the bucket for a few minutes. That's regards to the people that were buying some lids that were not fitting. So yes, try some heat, hot water. This person lives in Louisiana. My power went out today around noon. I got a text from the power company saying that a few hundred customers were affected by the outage. But local news is reporting that several thousand people are affected, and there's no cause in the article. Not sure if it's part of a rolling outage that are going on across the country or not, but it's strange this happened with no warning during the hottest part of the day. I will provide an update if they give a cause for the outage, and I am looking forward to that update just to see. This person says, appreciate what you do. It's getting biblical. I have 2 things for you to add to your boots on the ground report. Had to call in and change account information on the internet, the cell phone, the electric, the cable, the water company. Each call I had to wait 35 to 60 minutes before I could speak to anyone. Both my parents died of COVID last year. FEMA was initially paying COVID-related funeral expenses in 4 to 6 weeks in the beginning. I believe FEMA is out of money. They denied my claim filed on August 2021. Now having to file an appeal. Did everything by the book. Last 2 reps said everything looked fine over the past 4 months, and then denied for no reason. Also, they want to bring up the Eastern Kentucky. The recent flooding victims have been given just a few hundred or a few thousand on property damage by FEMA. It is so sad. People having to live in tents. Seen it firsthand. This is from Tucson, Arizona. Sticker shock. Food is not the only item that are increasing. A 2 cubic foot of potting soil for my garden in April and July, it was only $30, which is expensive in itself. Today, it was $45, so that's an increase of $33 in 2 months. And the cashier told me, well, you got the lesser of the 2 expensive brands. The other one now sells for $60. I will have to go to the forest now and take a shovel for the soil. I'm having a lot of anxiety about trying to figure out the best alternative heat source for the winter if the grid goes down. I'm really hoping you will respond to this email. I'm a 60-year-old female and my husband is 73 years old and disabled. I live in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan where we have Canadian winter. I have lots of stored canned foods and worried most of it's going to be lost due to freezing. I need a heat source to keep at least one room in my house from going below 32 degrees. I need to have ideas of something that I can set up and handle myself. My husband is unable to help me because of his disability. I'm hearing a lot of this. Elderly people are concerned about the cold weather, about rising electric, rising natural gas prices, rising propane. Europe will have it worse than us. Their prices are rising astronomically higher than us. So I do help people try to find alternatives. So if you're struggling, send me an email. I will call you, or you call me. We will get you some solutions. There's no reason to have anxiety. You should have concern, but we need to address that problem if you have any anxieties and get you fixed up to go for winter. I live approximately 1 mile north of Houston in a very nice city called Woodlands. There's a lot of money here. No one in Woodlands suffered during the 2008 recession. We have a very nice grocery store there. The one that is closest to our house is very large and is always more stocked than anyone could have imagined. Imagine my surprise when I went there tonight to find so many of the dried goods in such short supply. So I guess the shortages are finally reaching our area. That's a little scary. This person sent this in. These are, I guess, pee pads, and they can be used for adults. They can use for training puppies. But they were basically $80 2 weeks ago for $200. They have jumped $27 in one jump. So now they're close to $90 for the same thing. This is considerable inflation. And as we saw the CPI numbers yesterday, they were projecting the inflation to go down. It is not going down. The evidence is coming into boots on the ground. Inflation is continuing. This is from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. They said they trying to get some corn on the cob at Walmart, slimy and rotten corn. This is time when this should be good. This is harvest time for corn. This person says, I live in a small Missouri River community. A local church has been keeping a food bank going in the entranceway of our small post office. They try to make some basic supplies available. White and brown rice, various types of canned beans, some canned corn, tomatoes, applesauce, and other fruits, some cereals, lentils, split peas, etc. Each week, fewer commodities are available. Today I went to mail a bill and there was no rice, no split peas or lentils, a few cans of tomatoes, corns, and black beans, a couple boxes of cornflakes. Things are getting tight here. It might be a time to run a jug line on the river. And this was in Missouri. This is happening everywhere. There's more demand and less people giving. So if you can help in any way your local community, please do it. I work in a huge distribution center in Europe's, and this is a big budget retailer. We sell food and drinks, clothing, cleaning supplies, hygiene, office supplies, and decorations. I really noticed a difference this year because around this time it should be very, very busy. Changing products from summer to winter, and then also getting out to Halloween, getting out to Christmas. All of the years we are doing and we're working lots of extra hours, but this year there is so little work. They often send agency people home early and sometimes even ask contract employees if they want to go home voluntarily. It's kind of scary. Products like food and drink sells like usual, but it's clear that non-essential goods are selling a lot less. The management is really squeezing expenses to the max because lots of products we use in general got almost doubled in price. Also, I noticed everything else like trucks and containers are badly maintained and haven't been cleaned in a long time. Some maintenance we actually took over and we're doing it ourselves to cut costs for the company. Things are not looking good and prepping hard for bad times ahead. I wish I could get more detail, but leaking company information could make me lose my job, so please don't mention my name in any way. I'm not even going to name the country to protect these people. I will always protect your identity. That's just always assume. If you want a shout out, be very clear in it. Say, hey, give me a shout out. Use my name. This is the Minnesota nursing strike this week. Hopefully it will get resolved. And there's also reports, maybe planned strikes in Wisconsin and California. Hopefully these things do not occur. This is coming from Ohio. They went into a store last Friday and the bread aisle looked just devastated. One pack of Wonder hot dog buns had mold on them, and we told 2 different employees. Fast forward to September 13th, a few days later, went back to the store, bread aisle filled, but the same moldy hot dog buns were still on the shelf. And they emphasized that. Warn your viewers to triple check their expiration date and entire product before they purchase. Shame on those employees, pictures included. Be careful. You have to check everything. Today I visited a local craft vendor store. I stepped out of the truck and noticed a pit bull about a car length away. Instinctively I pulled out my cane out of the gun rack. Good thing I did it because the dog was heading for me. I flipped the cane to the hook end and got ready. The lady finally noticed and pulled in the retractable leash. I went into the store. The lady followed me with her dog. I kept my distance. Before I left the dog, I was confronted by the aggressive dog. It started barking and snarling. So basically, the bottom line is be careful when you're out there. Now a lot of dogs are running free because people are releasing the dogs so they don't have to take care of them. So if you have kids out in the yard that you think are safe, be aware that a dog can come into the yard. It's happened here locally, and kids have been attacked. This is Northern Indiana, rural county road. Another trespasser, total stranger on my property, hanging on the fence, in his own words, talking to the cattle. My entire property is clearly posted and fenced for all to see. But this arrogant, entitled city slicker argued his right to be there. He acted high and had cocaine skin, whatever cocaine skin is. This behavior is getting all too common. People ignored posted space signs 30 to 40 feet apart. I'm not running a petting zoo here. These pets are my dinner. I told him if he wants to talk to the cattle, go to the sale barn and buy one. He could talk all day long. He said he has a right to walk down the street. And then she shoot him on his way. property. You will lose it if you're not being very vigilant. So there you go. There's boots on the ground. Thanks for watching.